Nea Karlsson isn't just Dead by Daylight's resident graffiti artist. It goes much deeper than that. Her character is built around a question the game never asks outright. What do you owe the world when you see it suffering? What can you do about mercury poison in the water supply? How can you stand up to a corrupt mayor? And how can you leave a message with your art? These are all questions Nea couldn't stop asking herself after learning about the situation in the Narrows. But before we go there, we have to start at the beginning. Nea was raised in a Swedish town called Hjo. She started rebelling when she was 16. She would dye her hair black and cut it like how she liked it. The acting out got worse when her parents informed her of their moving to the US. They were going to be moving to Falls City, and Nea would have to leave her friends and current life behind. Her escape became hanging out at skate parks and tagging buildings with her street name, Mashtix. Here is where her memories in the entity's realm begin, according to Tome 5. We begin with memory 683. Nea skates to Falls City Park looking for her friend Casey, but finds she isn't there. Casey's mom tells Nea that Casey is volunteering with a grassroots organization called Life Drop in the Narrows, the poorest and most populated district in Falls City. When Nea finds Casey in the Narrows, she's handing out clean water bottles with some moms from their neighborhood. This district's water supply has become so contaminated by paper mills, car factories, and toxic waste that the water is making its citizens sick, and this is due to a corrupt policy that doesn't seem like it's going to change anytime soon. Nea realizes that the situation in the Narrows is so bad, children are dying from Minamata disease. It's a lethal disease caused by consuming large amounts of mercury and becoming poisoned. She feels for the residents, but today, she just wants to skate with her friend. She asks Casey, "We can't save the world, Casey. What's a few containers of bottled water gonna do?" Casey responds, "Yeah, well, maybe we can't save the world, Nea, but we sure as hell can make it a little bit better. And that's good enough for me." That night, Casey's words resonated with Nea, and she spent the entire evening researching Minamata disease and its symptoms. It was terrible. There were cases of deteriorating motor skills, random convulsions, paralysis, and children born with twisted limbs, all those side effects being permanent. Through her research, Nea learned that the mayor had cut a deal with a beverage company, so they rerouted the healthy and good water to a bottled water facility and connected an old river system to the Narrows. The mayor thought no one would notice. Then more and more people started losing their hair, and mothers lost their unborn children. The community complained, but no one did a thing. This was all Nea could think about from this point forward. A couple of days later, Nea met with Casey after tagging one of the abandoned factories. She asked Casey if she wanted to go see the building, but Casey lashes out on Nea. "Big deal," she says. "Your name on a ruined wall, who cares? Why not stand for something?" She challenges Nea, "If you'd at least piss off a tyrant, you would have done something with your art. If that's what you want to call it." Nea is hurt by this. She stays quiet and leaves. She heads to the Narrows to contemplate what Casey just told her. She sees all the abandoned factories and how they came, poisoned the community, and left. It meant nothing to them, poisoning the water and killing. Nea decides she's going to tag the Zyder production mill, the mill that is largely responsible for the pollution in the Narrows, the mill responsible for children suffering and dying. Even the environmental agency is denying mercury poisoning. If they admit to it, they admit fault, meaning they would have to pay for the cleanup. No one wants to spend their money, and yet children are still dying. She skates to the bottling factory, covers the camera with paint, and finds a spot up high to tag. As soon as she's finished, with paint left to spare, she spots a large white garage door, and thinks this is yet another perfect spot to tag. She wishes that this would annoy the factory enough to force them to clean up the river, but even she admits it's wishful thinking. They can easily paint over it, and it would be much cheaper than river cleanup. Up until this point, Nea's art has been about being seen, but Casey's about to force her to ask something much harder. What does being seen actually do? Nea excitedly tries to get Casey to go see what she did, but Casey is not with it. She criticizes Nea by asking her, what does her name stand for? Nea is confused and doesn't know how to respond because she's never thought about attaching a message to her art. Casey explains that art is the message. Art is political, and these company heads, CEOs, and mayors are today's kings. These kings are trying to get the common citizen to not be political. But that's just it. Everything is political. And not saying something in times of distress is saying something. Nea doesn't know what to think. Is her art considered political without her intention to be? Casey takes Nea to a family in the Narrows where a father is helping his son eat food on his deathbed. She explains how everyone is dying of mercury poisoning in the Narrows instead of natural causes. She accuses Nea of being a poser because she's just advertising her street name without a cause attached to it. She pushes Nea to use her voice for the voiceless and actually say something with her art and let the world know what's in your heart. Nea lies in bed awake thinking about what Casey said. She questions when she stopped believing in using her art to say something. She recounted her experiences in school. Her art teacher. Keep politics out of it. No messages. Nothing. And yet, that only seemed to benefit tyrants. She directed her anger at the mayor who sold the good water to a corporation. She kept repeating in her head, water is a human right. Water is a basic human right. Nea couldn't stop thinking about how many poor communities use poisoned water for everyday tasks like cleaning, cooking, bathing, and drinking. She learns about kings all over the world trying to gain a monopoly on water. They want to sell it. They want to own water because it's like owning life. That's what happened in Falls City. The mayor condemned his community. Nea vows to take a stand and express herself through art by turning the mayor's luxury car into a statement of rebellion. She can't change the world, but she can make it a bit better. And that's enough for her. This leads us to the clip provided in the tome of this exact encounter. We see the mayor eating seafood at a fancy restaurant and drinking clean water. Nea sneaks up to his car and begins to tag it. Water is life, she paints. Just as she's done, someone alerts the mayor of this, and Nea quickly flees on her skateboard. The mayor drives after Nea, chasing her on this rainy night. But as he's about to catch up, the slippery roads cause him to lose control of the car, and he crashes into a tree. Nea checks on him to see that he's still alive, but sirens are heard, and lights are seen in the distance heading towards them. Nea grabs her board and gets away. The tome nor anywhere else gives any details about the night she disappeared, but at some point in the following months or maybe years, she was dared by friends to tag Crotus Pren Asylum, and since that night she was never seen again. She had been taken by the entity. Maybe this is where she encountered Sally Smithson, the nurse, for the first time, and in their fight they were simultaneously taken by the entity. Or, since Nea was the first survivor added as DLC in Chapter 1, The Last Breath, she is the entity and took the nurse as her first killer. I think this is highly unlikely and just a fun meme, really. So what should you take from this? Nea just wanted to help her community through her art. She was so passionate about it, the entity could have interpreted this as her being a strong fighter and took her that night at Crotus Pren. As for the mayor, I hope there's a happy ending where his car accident caused him to re-evaluate his life choices and bring back clean water to Falls City. But just like Nea said, that's just wishful thinking. If you enjoyed this video and want to know more about Dead by Daylight, leave a like and consider subscribing so you know when the next video is up. Thank you so much for your time. See you in the fog.